This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Live from New York. It's the show that needs to do this publicly. I already did it privately. Reached out to Denzel Washington, apologizing for leaving Remember the Titans off of our best movies list. So I apologize,
That's
Denzel.
fair. That's fair.
So
that is up there.
Did you apologize to Cuba Gooding Jr. in radio?
No, but I did like that diving movie. I don't know if diving counts as a
of course it does.
As a sport.
Well, did you apologize to Adam Sandler? Happy Gilmore got left off. That's a pretty good one.
How about Denzel again? Hurricane. Hurricane was a good one.
That's better than Remember the Titans.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but it was great.
Hurricane's
I love
great.
Remember the Titans is pretty good.
Remember the Titans is awesome.
Also, Over the Top arm wrestling movie.
That was great. And it applies to real life.
Really?
If child custody ever comes down to an arm wrestling competition, you know what to do.
Well, they weren't battling.
Oh, yes,
for
they were.
custody.
The reason he won the love and affection and life of his son was because
Yeah, but it wasn't a custody
And he won
battle.
the semi-truck by winning the arm wrestling competition. Without that, he would have lost the kid. Everybody knows that about Over the Top.
First hour, first things first. Today, hot segment. Is Nick overestimating the Chiefs?
No, that's not the segment. The segment is you think they're going to be bad, and is KW too afraid to say it on the air?
A segment that will be great for a Friday and ruin the show for a month.
No,
but this is what you guys want.
I think.
Can I help you out?
Yeah, go ahead.
This might lead you to tell your true feelings. You're not beloved in Kansas City.
Correct.
They already not feeling it.
Exactly.
I have the key
Go all
to
the
the
way.
city. At
No,
any
you
point,
didn't get the key. They named a day
at
after
any
you
point,
and it got
if the
rescinded.
city's locked, boop. I'm like the locksmith of all of Kansas City. Meanwhile, Jared Goff, top NFC North QB in the NFL 100.
Wow.
Will he hold on to that spot by the end of the year? We'll find out. And finally, Hall of Fame game. Look, it's all.
It was a decent.
It was a good
decent
game.
Yeah, it was
Could the Cardinals be the sleeper team of the entire league?
Okay, well
That's
I mean,
someone's
we
got to
didn't
be.
discuss that.
Someone's got to
That's
be.
a bridge
Who's gonna?
way too far.
Some people had the Cardinals going to the Super Bowl a few years
Yeah,
ago.
That's true.
One person, you.
Oh God.
That's
That's a big. That's
He
a big
popped
hit.
up.
My goodness gracious.
Nick Wright, Kevin Wildes, brew with some guests.
Yeah,
Family
some
and
guests.
friends.
And happy birthday to my dad.
And happy birthday to your
happy
dad.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
We're starting-
KW's friend, who he's excited to go see tonight.
We're starting in Buffalo/Canton. New article about the Hall of Fame potential of active NFL players from former friend of the show, Bill Barnwell. This has caused some real consternation in the studio halls here. Nick even slid into his DMs and put him on blast.
No, I didn't put him on blast.
Yeah, you put him on blast.
I didn't put him on blast.
You
I did reach out
on
to Bill.
blast.
I did reach out to Bill. Go ahead.
Allen would be the quarterback on the all-decade first team if it were to be released tomorrow. Well, there would be at least some debate. And, there'd be some corners
Here and there.
about instead awarding it to Lamar Jackson or Patrick
He wasn't
Mahomes.
even listed second.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Mahomes.
Yeah.
All decade. I was shocked by this. Were you?
I have a very sad announcement.
I
think I know what it is.
I have said for a long time that if I ever were to become president of football operations for an NFL team, which at this point is probably, I don't know, like a 50-50 proposition if it does or doesn't happen.
Sure. Trying to make some inroads.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a mutual friend that might have just taken over a team. There's a lot of paths there. That my first call for general manager would be to Bill Barnwell. That job's now open, boys.
Wow.
I'm so stunned by this casual, almost throwaway, obvious line. He talked about the all-decade quarterback the way I would think you would talk about the all-decade tight end. Like, obviously, it'd be Travis Kelce. Now, there might be some debate for Kittle.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's Kelce.
That's right.
And he talked about it for a guy who there is a stronger argument that if it were voted on today would come in fourth than an argument for him to come in first. I wouldn't have him fourth for the record, but you could make a better argument for fourth than first. So first let me talk about Patrick, then let me talk about the four guys who would be in contention. Because Patrick's 2020s have evidently become wildly underrated. And when we do this is where Patrick would be in NFL history based on just what he's done in the 2020s, which is not including a Super Bowl he won in 2020 because it was the 2019 season. Right. So that does not include the 2019 season where in the postseason he beat Josh Allen in the Bills AFC Championship game, won a Super Bowl. He would be one of the 5 or 6 most decorated quarterbacks of all time based on this decade alone.
And it's not over.
It's not, no, but I'm saying, but it's not over for the other guys either. Right. And so there are Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Matt Stafford as far as this decade. Here's what they're, again, not career resumes, this decade. They all have one MVP. Patrick has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. The rest of them have 0. Patrick's won 2 Super Bowls. The rest have won 1. Patrick's been to 4. The rest have been to 1. There's only one guy on the list who has never been first-team All-Pro. It's Josh. The idea, so that's why I said there's a stronger argument. If somebody wanted to say it's Mahomes, Lamar, Stafford, Allen, it's not the order I would have, Brew, but
no, I agree with you.
It is a more acceptable opinion than having Josh Allen number 1 for the decade on this list. It was so stunning, I thought it was AI. And the fact that Bill hasn't responded to my texts or DMs makes me worry he's been compromised.
Well, the weird part, to Bill's credit, is now he's getting a lot of pushback. It wasn't just to you, correct? Yeah. That he has picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, I think, 6 straight years.
6 years in a row. He's not an anti-Chiefs guy. And I think that's unfair. People are like, everybody thinks every national person hates their team. But that's not true. He's not an anti-Chiefs guy, which makes this opinion all the worse.
Tough one.
Yeah, I feel like Nick Wright, or maybe me, or maybe Patrick Mahomes himself is being punked. This makes absolutely no sense. And Nick will like this.
Okay.
Because this means anytime this is brought up on our shows, particularly by me, he will no longer be the face of it. But this is an unacceptable opinion.
Unacceptable opinion?
You can't have this opinion.
An unacceptable opinion. Yeah.
You can't have this opinion. And I respect Barnwell, too. I think he does a great job.
He was great.
You can't say this. This is like saying, I don't even want to disrespect a great NBA player, a top 10 player, but there are certain top 10 NBA players you just can't say they're the GOAT.
What about Breeze over Brady for the 2010s?
That's a good one.
Well, look at yes, Brady went to 5 Super Bowls, won 3, and in the 2010s, Breeze went to 0 and won 0. But look at the passing yards.
It's not a good one.
I'm saying it's a good one.
Example of this.
Yes.
This is just an unacceptable opinion. Period. The end. And look, Mahomes, you mentioned the Super Bowls, the MVPs, right? And he gets cut off of one because he won it in 19, MVP. Yeah. He also has more passing yards than Josh Allen in the 2000s.
In the 2020s.
I'm sorry, the 2020s. And he's number 1 in that, in the 2020s. Mahomes is number 1. He has more touchdown passes than Josh Allen, only by 1, but still, he has more. He has fewer interceptions than Allen. All right.
This is the numbers. There they are. Allen has him clocked in rushing touchdowns. Stone clocked in rushing touchdowns.
Sure.
But that's the 2020s, their stats, what it is.
And you see the passer rating, I mean, it's basically even. So you can't, obviously the Super Bowls is a trump card, but you can't even go, but Josh has been so much better statistically. He hasn't, and to prove that, Tom Brady was the all-decade quarterback in the 2000s, all right?
2000 aughts.
2000 aughts, right? So he had been won 3 Super Bowls. Peyton Manning's individual numbers are he averaged 1,200 more yards per year passing than Brady, averaged 9 more touchdowns per year than Brady, yet Brady, because of those 3 Super Bowls, and Manning won one in that decade. Yeah. Brady was the first team all decade, Manning was second team. So this is, now look, I started to think, Nick, you can argue Lamar for sure, and I won't even bring in Stafford, but you can argue him too.
Ahead of Mahomes or ahead of Josh?
No, ahead of Josh.
Yes.
There's no argument for anybody ahead of Mahomes.
So I was researching for the Bud list. I was going to do this, and I didn't do it because I was just getting angry. So I'm not a big conspiracy theorist.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're not.
And Pete Crow-Armstrong went on Kristen Cavallari's podcast. I don't know if you guys listened to it. And he said...
it's in my queue.
It is. We got to listen to this one.
Okay.
He said, she's like, what's your hottest opinion? He's like, well, my hottest opinion is Babe Ruth didn't exist. Oh. And I was like, I'm going to do this for the Bud list. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to fight out of that corner? Like, he actually did. He hit a bunch of home runs. So I tried to research how to fight with a conspiracy theory. And it gave me a question that now I will tell you, which I would ask Bill Barnwell, even though this is obviously not a conspiracy. The question is this. This is how you fight conspiracy theories and what I would ask Barnwell. What would change your mind? Oh, Babe Ruth didn't exist. What would change your mind? So, okay, Patrick Mahomes is not the first-team all-decade quarterback. What do you need to see to have you change your mind? I think the answer is... what is
at this
missing?
Point, there's nothing.
Well,
MVP, Super Bowl, like raw numbers in the last 2 years.
And we didn't even mention it. In this decade, that counts, again, the 2020 season and beyond, they've played in the playoffs 3 times. And it's not just that Patrick's 3-0. It's Patrick has played basically flawless football in those 3 games. Yeah. Josh played amazing in the 2021 loss. Yeah. And then hit and miss in the other 2 ones. It is an utter absurdity that does make me wonder, because Bill is so sharp. I don't want to say it's misdirection, but this whole article was who's in, out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he used this as the opening and closing argument as to why Josh Allen, if he retired today, is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I don't know that I agree with that either.
Really?
That he's a Hall of Famer?
No. Not that I think he will be. But if Josh Allen today said, I'm done, I don't think Eli is getting in. I don't think Phillip Rivers is getting in. I do not think Matt Ryan, who has an MVP, or Cam Newton, who has an MVP, both of those guys have been to a Super Bowl, are getting in. I think the idea...
If Lamar retired today, you think that MVP
he's in. He has 2. He has 2 MVPs. He has 3 first-team All-Pros. Josh, with 1 MVP, 0 first-team All-Pros, and a bunch of wild card wins, rushing touchdowns, and glowing articles. I don't again. I think he is like 98% to make the Hall of Fame. But that's not what the article was. The article was, if the world stops today, are you in or not? I am not. 100%. I'm not as confident as Bill is.
Wow.
Like, do you think that's crazy?
I think it's interesting because we obviously project him playing this way for 3 to 5 more years, if not longer. And so he clearly is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I think you bring up an interesting point. Like, it depends maybe on how his career, if it were to end today, how it ended. If he just retired and said, I'm done with football, there's an argument that maybe he doesn't get in. If he had an injury, God forbid, and
was
that
forced
ended his
out,
career,
that's different.
Then I think he definitely gets in because, again, people project what he would have kept doing. But look, I do think he's clearly going to be a Hall of Famer.
Me too, to be clear.
But This is, again, you can't.
You know what? There's not an argument
no justification for this.
There isn't any. If someone, you know who could retire today, and there's not an argument on if they're a Hall of Famer? The guy who's actually the all-decade first-team quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And that's if his career was just this decade. Yeah. Forget the Super Bowl and the league MVP and the 50 touchdown, 5,000 yards he had in the 2010s. If it was just this decade and he had one league MVP, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, he's a first ballot, no doubt Hall of Famer.
If he played mediocre to bad football the rest of his career and never won a Super Bowl again or got there, he's still a Hall of Famer.
And he's one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks ever if he does that.
You read the whole article?
Yeah.
Was there any other quarterbacks at AFC East? How did Barnwell have them go?
AFC East, other quarterbacks.
Work to do.
Drake May was on the list, as was Caleb Williams. I think there.
Not AFC East sometimes.
Oh, AFC East?
Yeah, it said just like basically in. What was the title?
It was. I don't.
Pretty much in.
Work
I think
to
it was.
do.
No, not work to do.
Keep it up.
It was keep. It was keep it up.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, you're like in first.
Yeah, definitely.
When Alex Blow's winning the Indy 500, just keep. You're fine. Just keep it up.
Keep finishing.
You're totally fine.
MVP,
getting
to the Super
exactly.
Bowl.
Headed to Canton.
Good job. Go
Excellent.
ahead.
Jaylen Brown's long-awaited Philadelphia press conference took place yesterday. Here he is on a good problem. The Sixers have too many good players. Take a listen.
To be honest, it doesn't have to be anybody's team. It just needs to be based in respect and work. And that's kind of like my approach. I want to earn everybody respect and trust, which take time. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a lot of guys with talent, it's egos, but to win, you got to be able to sacrifice. You got to be able to, have trust and communication. So I want to come in transparent. I want to come in with my agenda on the table. Look, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I want to do. I want to win.
Basically, perfect answer. Brew, your reaction.
Yeah, look, he did give the perfect answer. It's going to be a challenge. Now, don't get me wrong. They're going to be very good. They're going to beat some teams, a lot of teams, just on talent. And LeBron at times being able to take over a game, Maxey, Embiid, whoever it might be, Jaylen himself. Mm-hmm. But it will be a challenge. Having 5 superstars/stars, and Edgecombe may have star potential, on the court at one time is not easy. It's difficult because somebody has to do the dirty work. Somebody has to set the screen. Somebody has to play defense. Somebody has to box out, rebound, all the things, the role players tend to do. And so they have to figure out who's going to do that. So, like I said earlier, they're going to win 50-plus games without question. But I said it on Monday, if I'm Nick Nurse, the head coach, I'm establishing an egalitarian offense that's heavy on ball and player movement. So there really isn't a number 1 option, number 2 option, so on and so forth. The ball finds the open man scores or shoots. So that's how I would play. Secondly, I think they need to try to score in transition in a ton, because if Edgecombe hasn't touched the ball on several half-court sets in a while, or LeBron or whoever, it gives you the opportunity to get some of those buckets and stay in rhythm in the transition. And thirdly, that an egalitarian offense would help them defensively, because if there's not the pressure on 1 or 2 guys to carry the offense, there's been pressure on Maxey to carry the offense. This year there was pressure on Jaylen Brown to carry the Celtics offense. If you remove that, they can give more energy to defense. And Edgecombe, Brown, and Maxey all have the potential to be very, very strong defenders.
Do you think Maxey, even at his size, can be a very strong defender?
Yeah, at the point of attack. I mean, and look, he's going to give you a lot of offense, so I'm not saying he's going to be Patrick Beverly, but I do think he can still, at his position, be a good defender.
So 2 points here. First one is Nick Nurse was on, I don't know, it was Philly Radio or Philly Podcast. Mm-hmm. And the guy floated to him about LeBron, that people were already saying LeBron was going to play point guard some. And Nick really seemed to embrace that idea, talking about LeBron initiating the offense, not necessarily being the primary scorer, but the primary initiator. I think that is a great idea. I think LeBron playing a, older stage J. Kidd Magic Johnson, you know what I mean?
Like he did in the Olympics.
Correct. Yeah. Like he did in the Olympics, I think is the best use. Because the one thing that this team doesn't have a surplus of on the offensive end is passing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, for none of these guys but LeBron would you even consider passing one of their major skills or even minor skills, really. You know what Maxi's fine. I'm not saying
but he's
Maxi's
not like
an excellent
a
player, right?
passer.
And he's a scorer. Edgecombe is yet unformed. Jaylen Brown, I think it's really the only real weakness in his game is like passing, ball handling. And Embiid, for a guy his size, can have some flashy passes, but he's not, an elite passer. So there's that piece of it. The other piece of it, KW, that I truly believe is, if you were going to have a team of 5 stars or potential stars or superstars or previous superstars, these 5 guys might be at the exact right spot of their careers for it to have the best chance of working. So Joel Embiid has won his MVP, has won the scoring title, has made all the money. The only thing he hasn't done is play big playoff games, right? So if
whatever it takes,
right, you would think maybe
as
not.
Far as the sacrifice. The other, quickly.
Yes.
If they were all in their prime,
it's totally
they just
different.
win based on talent.
Yes.
Like Wade and LeBron weren't that awesome of a fit, except defensively they were, but offensively, but they won on talent. That's what they would do.
But so Embiid is the only box he has less to check is winning. Jaylen Brown, and I think you heard it there, is coming here with something to prove, and I think he recognizes my avenue to proving it is not necessarily going to be about what my points per game were, because I just had my career high in points per game, and everyone said I sucked. Maxey, I think it's really important. He has 3 years left on his deal and has already been paid.
That's important.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And the fact that Edgecombe is going into year 2, not year 3, so he can't even get paid after this year. So no matter what this year goes like, next year is the bigger year for him.
Yeah, just win.
Right.
Like
playing big games.
Like Chet.
Yeah, sure. Chet or J-Dub.
Yep.
Or and LeBron chose this. You know what I mean? LeBron had all the options and chose this. Because of that, I'm not guaranteeing that it works. What I'm saying is it's more likely to work than players of this caliber and this usage rate just being randomly lumped together.
Makes sense.
Then I think it would.
Okay.
Yeah, look, quickly, the health, and we know Embiid's health is huge, but I mean, like there's talk that LeBron, you can rest him, you can load manage, nobody would frown on that at his age. Embiid, you could load manage. They are going to need those 5 to play a significant number of games together. Because they have to get used to playing with each other. So they got a lot to work out, but obviously the talent is tremendous.
Unfortunately, we are moving the Cardinals segment to later in the show.
Why?
That's according to Dusty.
No, we're not. It's only 22.
Is there breaking
Dusty
news
just told me we have to move the Cardinals, Panthers to later in the show. I said, okay, we've got to get to our hot story after the break. How concerned should we collectively be about the Kansas City Chiefs? That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel, and SiriusXM. Wow. It's Dusty. A lot of people say we don't cover the small market teams. I said, I got a big script.
You must be ready to drop the hammer.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Predictions Week is coming up August 31st to September 4th. A.J. Brown makes the graphic.
A logoless helmet.
It's a Guardian cap.
How'd he make the graph?
Oh, that's a Guardian cap?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that, buddy?
Yeah, of course. That's not our helmets.
I thought some teams, like, you don't get the logos on them during training camp.
Oh, maybe. I'm
If
not
that's a Guardian cap, they're getting better.
The Guardian caps are starting to look cool.
Are they getting smaller?
Yeah.
Okay, that could be one there.
Stay tuned. It's going to be star-studded. NFL Top 100 coming in at number 31, Dak Prescott. Let's take a look at who has been revealed so far. Dak is immediately ahead of Burrow, Herbert, and Goff. Still to come on this list, Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Drake May.
And we think Darnold. I'm
Sam
starting
Darnold
to get
wouldn't
nervous.
ask
Bryce Young,
I'm sorry.
Bryce
Exactly
Young
right.
is on the list.
But it
There's
is
no
weird.
way Darnold's not on the
Darnold's
list.
jump. I expect to see Darnold already because this is different than other lists.
Right, because they don't the playoffs.
They did it in December.
Yeah, they do it before the playoffs. So I'm starting to get nervous for Sam. But he
look,
was 72
I already
last
think
year.
that the list is not
okay.
good. If Darnold's not on there, just in the list.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Just
I
don't
think
even do
he
it
will
next
be.
year.
My guess is he's going to be barely, like, Goff was only 2 spots behind Dak. I got to think Darnold's coming up very soon.
Yes. Also, congratulations to Drake May, officially a top 5 quarterback now.
Also, it
This,
also.
we just said the list.
And on this note, just quick,
Sorry.
before we get to the actual topic, if Darnold comes in behind Drake May, you're going to find that outrageous, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I believe in winning quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Then he won the ultimate prize.
Against
So he
Drake
should
May.
be-
Against Drake May.
Yeah, made him
head
look
to
bad.
head.
Head to head.
Outplayed him.
Exactly.
That's
Okay,
how
I
it
just
should
wanted-
work.
Okay, thank you. I
I'm
just wanted to make
consistent.
sure. Go ahead.
Do you think Dak is primed to move up this list? You know, we come here 365 days from now. It's going to be higher or lower.
He is definitely primed to move up. He could easily, I easily see him moving ahead of Drake May,
Tough.
and Darnold a year from now, no doubt. Now, the challenge is going to be that
Will other guys-
Lamar, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, will they move ahead of Dak? But I think Dak is going to have a phenomenal year. All right, look, his last 4 healthy, fully healthy seasons, he threw for about 4,500 yards or more and 30 touchdowns or more. When he's healthy, and that was not with 2 of the top 7, top 10 receivers in the league. He's got 2 outstanding receivers. He's got a good productive running back in Javonte Williams. He's going to have a great year. This list we said is done in December, so this won't affect that. But in our eyes, and I think most people's eyes, the way he moves up, let's say, to become a top 5 quarterback would be the postseason. And it won't affect this list. But that's all. He has to play really well. Not that they have to even get to the Super Bowl, but if he plays really well, they win a game or 2.
I think he does have to get through that ceiling of the second round.
Yes.
I think he has to get a conference
maybe the second
championship
round
appearance.
I agree.
Yeah.
If he was great in the first playoff game, let's say they won. Second playoff game, they lose a tough game to the Rams, but he's great.
Yeah.
And let's say, I think he's going to be in the MVP race.
Okay, sure.
And so I think maybe that he could move into the top
There's
5.
so
But
few playoff games where the losing quarterback plays great, where we're like, that was a win for them, no matter what. Outside of
Stafford, was Stafford against the Seahawks? I'm trying to remember.
That way he played. I mean, that was like 38-35.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That type of game.
There's-
where you say
yeah,
it's
but
and
you're
Josh,
right.
but everyone, we usually find 1 or 2 plays like that you could have gone. That decided the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is
it's possible
You're
to
correct
shake
that there's not a bunch of, epic quarterback duels in playoff games.
Yeah.
Which is what would kind of have to happen. Normally, it's somebody's defense wins the day against the other quarterback.
Oddly, Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl.
That's one that gets talked about a lot.
And he had the one mistake.
Yep.
So the question I found myself asking myself when I saw this list, so here's where Dak has been historically in this NFL Top 100. Mm-hmm. So right after his rookie year when they went 13-3, and he actually, that game he did, that is an example. They were the number 1 seed. Cowboys, Packers, he was amazing in that playoff game and lost in the divisional round. That was the game.
Rookie,
Yeah, exactly right. But I'm saying, and he did
Honeymoon
great
phase.
on the.
That was the best
he did great. And then, he popped once a couple years ago. On the Sando list, he's never done better than he did this year. He's been tier 2 a bunch of times, but as far as his overall numerical ranking and average, it was the best he's ever had. So the question I was asking myself is, are we in the midst of a Dak renaissance?
Nice.
Are we in the midst of there being, because where I will give a lot of the analytics community, which sometimes I agree with and sometimes we make fun of, credit on this player is, for years, they have been very high on Dak Prescott. They have said that Dak is underrated, that what Dak does pre-snap is underrated, that the fact that he is an ultimate floor raiser for the offense to Bruce's point, almost no matter who the coach, skill position, whatever it is around him, if he's healthy, you're going to have a good to excellent offense. They've always really liked Dak and thought that we have underrated him kind of in the national media.
Some empty calorie yards is the knock.
That has been the knock. The lack of playoff success has been the knock. I'm saying the analytics folks have always loved him. And now it does seem like he's
getting more love.
He is getting more love. Like Colin, who's always been, I don't want to call him a skeptic, but, kind of tepid on Dak, seems to be very, bullish on him this year. Brew, who's been, I think, tepid on the Cowboys, is fair to say, might be bullish on them this year. And I do also think he benefits from the fact that his age of quarterbacks, his, draft contemporaries, there were a bunch of misses. He's like the only quarterback his age that we talk about. You understand what I mean? Like the quarterbacks that came into the league 13 to...
He was in, 14?
Right. He was, his first year was, I think it was 2016 was his... but 13 to 16 was basically a quarterback desert. And so there's not 33-year-old quarterbacks. There's the super old guy, Stafford, and then the next oldest is basically Mahomes on down. You know what I mean? And so
that's when
I think you hit it on the head with why he is starting to get more respect, because he's now done it for a long time and he's the only guy in that group. Because obviously all the other greats we talk about are younger than him.
Yep.
So he is the only guy of his generation, and he's done it a long time. Because I'm even giving him more respect than I have.
Head to Kansas City. Chiefs practice has featured a spry-looking Patrick Mahomes. Does he or does he not have a dad bod Travis Kelce? In 6th overall pick, Mansour Delane wearing a yellow non-contact jersey. He has yet to put on pads. Headline from Sports Illustrated, magazine of record, as you know, bro. As injuries pile up, do the Chiefs have a cornerback problem? Josh Briscoe writing Spags defense training camp reps. System comfort always mattered, even if Delane is cleared for full contact in time for the Chiefs season opener. I do now have some doubt that he'd get the every snap responsibilities I envisioned when the team drafted him. Yep. Now, he was supposed to be the answer. You're supposed to develop this position. Should you be more concerned? This is a hot topic in the meeting.
Make the case.
That you should be more concerned?
Yeah, make the case.
Sure. In my own creative way. I went and got my car looked at the dealership.
This is going to be great.
And they pride themselves on having great customer service. So the person that was helping me said, hope you enjoyed your time at the dealership. I'm like, no, you got to put new tires on the car. I didn't enjoy it. He's like, you're going to get a customer survey. My name is Brian or whatever. It's 1 through 5. I just want you to know, and I don't think he was supposed to tell me this. I just want you to know, anything less than a 5 is considered unsatisfactory for me. I was like, well, that's not what
he said that to you?
Yes. You have to get all 5s or he gets in trouble. So I'm like, well, gee whiz, now you put your thumb on the scale. I don't want you to get in trouble. But I said that's an interesting way of looking at things. Because it's the preseason, why don't we just look at, where are you a 5? And I took my favorite team and I took it against, my second favorite team, really 2 favorite teams, Chiefs and the Patriots.
Okay.
How do I feel about Drake May? I'm at a 5 with Drake May. How do I feel about the weapons that we have? I'm at a 5.
Well, you shouldn't be.
5.
You should not be a 5 for your weapons.
High.
For the record, we were just in the Super Bowl. We averaged 29 points a game. We got Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown, who was the best offensive acquisition in the entire league. Is there a better offensive acquisition than A.J. Brown in the entire league? Well, I was doing my thing, and then you interrupted me. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't know.
They did play a bunch of tomato.
I totally agree.
That's fine.
They went to the Super Bowl.
So the Patriots have perfect quarterback, perfect weapons. Got it.
I'm saying I'm at a 5. Well, how I would rate the Patriots, I went at a 5. If you think there is a better offensive acquisition this year other than A.J. Brown, I'd love to hear it.
Kenneth Walker, but go ahead.
Kenneth Walker, if you think Kenneth Walker,
let's get to it. Yeah, because you guys lost a receiver that you thought last year was better than A.J. Brown.
You think Kenneth Walker and A.J. Brown are in the same plane of acquisitions?
I think that the Chiefs upgraded at running back so much dramatically more than the Patriots upgraded at wide receiver, because I was told last year
this is a good point.
that Stephon Diggs was arguably a top 5 receiver last year from you, and that Maida Diggs was the number 1 combo. So he's gone. So A.J. Brown can just hope to mirror that. Meanwhile, the Chiefs went from the worst running game in the league. But that's not, I don't think that if your argument is the Patriots are going to be better than the Chiefs,
I'm just using, honestly,
that's totally legitimate.
I'm
but you think the Chiefs are going to be bad.
I'm setting the groundwork of what I was talking to with the dealership.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Right.
Our defense, pretty good last year, but we did give 29 points to the Seahawks. I put us at a 4. Okay. Not great. We did give up 19 points. We played some tomato cans. I'm at a 4. Okay, health, I'm at a 5.
Okay.
Right, nobody's really hurt. So that's where I'm at. Overall, I'm probably at a 4, upwards of 5. You, I would say, are very confident in the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is how I've judged the Chiefs, which also I have a favorite team. Mahomes cannot be at a 5.
Okay. Okay.
Where was he last year?
What do you mean?
Where would you say Patrick Mahomes is more injured at this moment than he's ever been in his entire career to start week 1?
Healthy. I think he's absolutely totally healthy right now.
Okay.
And I think he's been cleared for full contact, and I think he's
if you think Mahomes is right now the exact same as he was 4 years ago, you're going to give Mahomes a 5 coming off surgery.
I don't think Josh Allen is the same as he was.
I'm not talking about Josh Allen. I'm
ago.
talking about Patrick Mahomes. You're saying Patrick Mahomes is a 5 every year, including the year he's on knee surgery.
If you are asking me on a 1 through 5 scale, grade my confidence of the Chiefs quarterback, it gets a 5.
Okay.
We can do the rest of the things you would like.
Sure. So if Patrick Mahomes has a 5, I'm shocked by that. Patrick Mahomes had a knee brace.
Well, if he's not a 5, then they're screwed.
For the first time in his career.
That's fair. Just because of the injury, the last 3 years he hasn't been great statistically. I think that's fair.
So that's
I'm just putting him at a 4. I have him down as a 4. I don't have him as a 1. I'm saying it's more questionable than
mark. He doesn't have great receivers.
That's it. Weapons
is right now a 2 or a 3.
A 2 or a 3. That's what I have.
Yes.
Travis is older. The wide receivers are right now very tough.
And
Schefter said you guys went after Stephon Diggs. Didn't happen.
What did Schefter say?
The Chiefs, Dolphins, Raiders reached out to Stephon Diggs.
Okay, yeah. I am
Maybe
not saying
true.
Schefter is
He
wrong.
should have went to the Chiefs.
I am saying that if the Chiefs,
it was just
the
money.
Chiefs opted to not sign Stephon Diggs.
Okay,
is what I would say to that. But go ahead.
Maybe that.
I didn't see the report. I'm not.
That's all. That's all it was. It was just a line. But I'm not giving Mahomes a 5. I'm not giving the weapons a 5. Defense, McDuffie and Watson are gone, and we just heard Delane is hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not giving that a 5. You were 22nd in sacks last year. Chris Jones is a year older. I'm not giving that a 5.
No problem.
So I'm looking around. I'm like, where are the 5s? For me, as a Patriots fan, Drake May's a 5. We have 2 new wide receivers.
You think the whole
5.
team? You think everything about the team's a 5?
That's not true.
I just told you the coach, the weapons, and the quarterback.
First of all, I did not even mention the coach, but yes, he is a 5.
Yeah, I know.
The offensive line I have down as a 4.
That's their 5. That's their 5.
It's Andy Reid. That's it.
No, he said.
Okay.
It's a 5.
And my health is a 5.
I don't know that you think everything's a 5. I thought everyone that you listed.
I did not. The defense can get better, and I'm still at like a 4.5, 5 to the Patriots. But I don't know what is a moral of the story. What is like a no doubt, no brainer 5 for the Kansas City Chiefs this year? No doubt, no brainer.
Okay, can I go now?
Yeah, go.
The coach and the quarterback. The team that has been to 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls and had a down year. That's a 5. The defensive coordinator that took the youngest defense in football 3 years ago, like he's going to have a young defense this year, and by the end of the year, they were one of the best defenses in football and remade the secondary on the fly. What I believe to be the absolute biggest upgrade at skill position any team made, which was the Chiefs going from the worst running situation in the league to just 10th. I think is a bigger upgrade than any team made, even if A.J. Brown is a better player than Kenneth Walker. I just think the upgrade there is absolutely massive. But he's not a 5 running back. No, KW, I'm going to do this very respectfully. You have just invented the scale based off Jiffy Lube. I don't know.
Jiffy Lube, it's my car dealership.
I don't know how to like mix these metaphors. You're telling me that it's outrageous for me to say Patrick Mahomes is a 5 quarterback, but the upgrade of Kenneth Walker isn't a 5 either. I don't know this scale. The point that you have been flirting with all summer, that I tried to bully you on the call this morning into making,
is say that
was
they're not a 12-win team.
Was not that the Patriots will be better than the Chiefs. You've said that repeatedly. You're not afraid to say that.
I'm not trying to make that argument. I'm trying to make my confidence in my team versus the confidence in your team.
Yeah, but
I'm less confident in a team that got better for the Patriots at wide receiver, at offensive line, in general health, okay, than you are with a 6-win team that I don't see where you guys got better outside of running back. And all of a sudden they go from 6 wins to 12.
No, because I think you're looking at the world as if it was that last year's the only year that existed. And what I'm saying is they have the infrastructure of a team that wins 12 to 15 games every single year. What happened for them to win 6 games last year? The offensive line, which we didn't discuss, that they lost 35 games last year from starters on the offensive line. That's an overstatement. They lost the starter and then the backup and the backup. But, they lost 3/5 of the offensive line for a quarter to a half of the season. The quarterback got hurt and missed the end of the season. The wide receiver got hurt and missed the beginning of the season, got suspended for 8 games, 6 games of the season. All of those things. So some of my confidence comes from the infrastructure. Some of my confidence comes from who they have been every single year. But the point I was trying to get to, and I am still trying to get to, is I think it is totally valid if your belief is the Pats are going to be better than the Chiefs. What I think your belief is that the Chiefs are going to be bad.
No. I think the Chiefs
are going to miss the playoffs.
I think certainly the Chiefs are candidates for missing the playoffs. That I don't see a team that, this team bounced back. It remade the defense. When you
did. You might say they made.
We don't know.
You were like, you traded up to get Delane.
And then they traded another first-round pick on
your
Peter
secondary.
Woods. Yes.
He hasn't put on pads.
Yes.
How could this be going worse for you?
How could it be going?
He still has yet to wear pads in practice.
Yes.
So I think I'm allowed to say, that's a little bit funky. Just like how Mahomes is ahead of schedule. He's not.
I'm the one who brought up. I don't even know if the Delane injury was on everyone's radar. I'm the one who brought it up this morning. He has a shoulder injury. That, for a number 6 pick, that is concerning. As far as the upgrade of the defense, the other first-round pick, the pick they got for trading Trent McDuffie, Peter Woods has been an absolute monster. And as far as him helping the pass rush that you're talking about. But we're 15 minutes in, Brew hasn't gotten to say anything, and I still don't know what your opinion is.
You don't know what my opinion is?
I'm trying to find out, do you think right now, in pencil, it's not predictions week.
Not predictions
right
week.
now, do you think the Chiefs are a playoff team next year?
It remains to be seen.
You still won't say it. That's what I want to know.
It's very much on the board that they're not.
Yeah, but I can see them making it. I'm not going to doubt Mahomes like that. But the idea that they're winning 12 games.
You think they got the 5th best Super Bowl
division
odds.
too.
I don't care about the odds. The odds were wrong last year.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at Accenture.com/Spotify.
Hall of Fame game last night, Cardinals-Panthers. First look at Carson, Beck. He goes 15 for 19, 188 yards and a touchdown. Panthers win late, though. Here's Mike LaFleur on his rookie QB.
Good, but not surprised. It's the same guy that I felt like you saw watching the tape. It was a cool environment for him to just kind of, hey, it's just another game. And that's the way he took it, and he's been in big ones. And, I think that's just kind of how his mindset works. I was proud of the way he played, and it's a good first stepping stone.
Beck's performance, something or nothing, just the Hall of Fame game, but not nothing.
Yeah, I'm not going to overreact, but it's something. He played well. He threw the deep ball well. He threw it over the middle well. The fade, back shoulder fade for the touchdown was a phenomenal pass. Like, he looked good. We remember he played 6 years in college at obviously a high level, Georgia, Miami. So
when you say that, it sounds like you're like making like an extreme. Like he played like 6 years in college.
Well,
no,
that helped.
Literally played.
He did play 6 years in college.
A veteran.
Yeah.
And of course, we saw highs in college. We saw lows in college. So the key for him is, can he do it consistently? This was a nice step, and with Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew on the roster.
No, they want him
hope
to be.
He
Yes.
can be their guy, and it was a good debut.
Yeah, they're gonna, hold out hope that, not every few years, but Russell Wilson obviously was third-round pick, long-time starter. Dak Prescott was fourth-round pick, long-time starter.
Brock Purdy.
That's absolutely right. Like, you're just a diamond in the rough. Purdy is really a true extreme because he was so late. But the guy who, going into the draft, people were like, maybe he sneaks into the first round and then ends up being second, third, fourth rounder. He was more in that mold, like Russell and Dak.
And he set that guy up.
I know that one wasn't great. But one spot I am consistent on is I care. I remember last year you got mad at me. It wasn't even a Chiefs conversation where I was talking about we were having some conversation about a young player or a new player to the league. And I talked about how much I cared about. It was a quarterback conversation about how old they were. And you were like, I don't care about that. I care about it immensely.
You brought that up with Bo Nix.
Yes, so the fact that he is older than Drake May, that he is 1 day younger than Caleb, who's going into year 3, older than Drake May, who's going into year 3. He's only 6 weeks younger than C.J. Stroud, who's going into year 4.
He's 6 weeks younger than C.J. Stroud?
He is 6 weeks younger than C.J. Stroud.
Wow.
Who's going into year 4. He turns 25 in November. And so I say that because he needs to look good relatively earlier than your typical mid-round rookie because he should be far more refined. So it's less that a great Hall of Fame game is awesome more than a bad Hall of Fame game, even though he's a rookie and it would have been a little concerning. Mm-hmm. But if you're Arizona, Jacoby Brissett's a great backup and a bad starter. Like you hope that he could supplant him at some point. It's a good start.
Bo Nix was the knock on Bo Nix,
Yes.
and he came out and has won more games than every other
Yeah.
quarterback from his class.
Yep.
Like he looks ready to go. Want to hear the wackiest stat you've ever heard in your entire life about the Cardinals before we go to break? Jacoby Brissett went 1-11. Passing yards per game, which is the worst record of any starting quarterback. Passing yards per game, first. 290 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're behind, you're going to throw the rock.
I think it's interesting.
Brissett is a really good backup.
Yeah, he's a great backup.
I like Brissett a lot.
You like Brissett a lot?
For a backup.
You like him a lot?
You're going to add for a backup?
I also like that.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at Accenture.com/Spotify.
Live from New York, the show with a major announcement for the second hour. Let's hear it.
All right. I need to apologize to the show and the audience.
Uh-oh.
During the break, I went to go get more coffee, and I couldn't figure out. I've been working with KW for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
I love the man. He's a national treasure. I'm used to his somewhat wacky, long, winding analogies. I usually enjoy them.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why his stupid Jiffy Lube thing irritated me so much.
Wasn't Jiffy Lube.
And then I realized, I hadn't put my nicotine patch on today.
Are you
so
serious?
I'm on edge, boys.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. It's totally irresponsible
Did you put it on in the break?
No, I've got it right here. I'm about to put it on during the tease. I got to unbutton my shirts and do it. But you guys are lucky I didn't come across the tape.
That is
the Barnwells. The first thing I saw this morning was Barnwell and Ivan Mahomes.
You haven't had your nicotine
all day. All day.
You know what the moral of this story is?
That's like me not wearing my toupee. Showing up here Costanza
The
style.
moral of the story is you were right.
About what?
There was tension.
There was
that.
There
but
was
I didn't
major
know why.
tension.
But it was because
I think you guys should hug.
No, we're not going to
Show
hug.
the people it's all
No,
good.
it needs nicotine. You
Hug.
can't.
There you go.
I don't
Show
want
the people
to.
it's all love.
I don't. If my toupee fell off, we would have had major problems. Not funny. You Amazon Prime me a new toupee for Monday.
Go. We got to go to video so I can unbutton my shirt.
Wow.
Up first things first today. What are the chances that LeBron's 76ers chapter goes poorly? We found some anonymous executives.
Yeah, who is that?
I mean, who knows?
wondering.
It's late. It's late August.
It's early August.
It's early August, but late in the week. Meanwhile, the newest Ravens quote that Brew will either love or hate. I don't think we even showed this to you, did we?
Dusty whispered it to me. I don't remember what it was.
Why did he whisper
It's
it?
amazing. Can we
Caught me in
You
the
actually are taking your shirt off right now.
I'm almost done.
Can you
We're
just
good.
put it on your neck?
Do we need
I've tried
Giannis to
various
help?
parts of my body. The
Giannis
shoulder
is in
works
charge of
best.
social media.
Yeah, go ahead.
Josh Allen and the Bills are favored to win the AFC East, and he said that the plan is to keep knocking on the door until he finally breaks through to the Super Bowl. Here he is talking about his former OC turned new coach.
I've had some of my best years in my career with Joe Brady at the helm calling plays, and now that I get to see him as a head coach and the way that he's just been authentically himself throughout this entire process, and the way that guys respect him and really gravitate towards him, it's been awesome to see.
Is it more likely that the Bills take a step forward or backwards, bro?
I mean, look, they won 12 games. They won a playoff game. You know, it's hard to improve on that. But I am going to say that they take a step forward. I'm high on the Bills. I think the Bills are going to have a great season. And I'm just going to break it to you now. I know it's not predictions week. They're going to win the division again. I'm sorry.
Well, again, it's
Means
interesting.
your
So we're
Patriots
taking a
won.
year off. So, yeah.
Well, how many did they win before that? 4 or 5?
6, I think, in a row.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the AFC East. I think Joe Brady is going to be very good with Josh Allen. I think Jim Leonard with the defense, I think is really – I know Sean McDermott was a very good defensive coach and did a great job with them, but I think Leonard is really going to take them – not that he's better than McDermott, but a fresh voice.
Sure.
Take them they'll do things differently. They're disguising coverages a lot more. I think he'll take them to another level. And look, James Cook, I'm happy that it is the return of the running back, right? We've seen running backs have huge years lately, and now there's a couple years ago, remember, they're having trouble getting $9 million a year. And now Bijan and these guys are getting paid now. Jahmyr Gibbs. 74, 75 million. James Cook's making $48 million over 4 years. I'm sure he's looking after leading the league in rushing, looking at what they just got and saying, okay.
He's making 48 after 4
And
years.
that wasn't a bad
He signed it last year.
When he signed
and it was very
wasn't
emotional.
viewed
I thought
as a bad
I
deal.
thought it was a great deal.
No,
Now-
It was at
that's
that time.
No, that's what I was. And the Chiefs got Kenneth Walker for basically 14 and a half a year.
Right, which looks
a
great.
few months ago. Then the market exploded.
Yeah.
Like the market, it was the Kenneth Walker briefly was, I don't think he was ever the highest paid because Saquon and CMC had gotten little tacked on years above it. Yeah. But yeah, the running back, the non-Saquon CMC running back market was getting more than 10 million was a huge, huge accomplishment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he may try to. He's going to play well, no question. And then add DJ Moore, we know it's a legit number one receiver. I just think they're going to be good. I think they're definitely taking a step forward.
Okay.
Don't get mad at me.
I'm not.
Oh, man.
Did you do your little survey thing for Buffalo?
Not yet.
Because I bet they wouldn't do as well as your Pats.
Let's
For
hear
you. I'm
QB
saying for
is
you.
a 5.
QB's
Is that
always a
fair?
5. He's not her, as long as you didn't have, surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying if by your own metric, you wouldn't give their coach a 5.
Well, I just haven't seen him, but I don't know. I'm a lot of that is just a Coach Mangini.
No, I wouldn't.
If he was so high on McDermott,
I think that there was, it's a bit of the devil element with McDermott. Like you for good or for bad, you kind of knew what you were getting, and now it's similar with the Ravens with Harbaugh. You are really opening up the realm of possibilities there. I look at I don't think you have 5 weapons. I don't think they have 5 weapons. You know what I mean, as far as that scale. I think their defense is a big question mark. Because I haven't thought the last couple years. Early in Josh's tenure as a great player, they had awesome defenses that fell apart in the playoffs. Not really. That's really not true. Patrick Mahomes dissected them in the playoffs. Other than that, they were.
And last year they gave 33.
That's a tough one because he got all the extra possessions with the turnovers. But yeah, that is true. But my point is, I thought the last couple of years, Brew, they haven't had great defensive personnel. I thought early in Josh's career they had great defenses. Last couple of years they haven't, and I think that's where McDermott was valuable to him. So I'm curious, like you guys like Jim Leonard, he went to Wisconsin, good guy, you know what I mean, good rep, but we don't know. Like that's a question mark. With all that said, if I had to pick, I agree with Brew on, to me, step forward means they get back to where they had been as division champs. I think they will. I am not guaranteeing it. It wouldn't shock me if the Pats win the division, but I think they will. I don't think they need to win more than 12 games. I don't think they have to improve their win total to win the division. You know what I mean? I think the Patriots are, right
win
for
12 games. Yeah,
an 11-win season. It would be, I think, a really good season for the Pats this year, and that'd be 3 less wins. And am I picking them to make the Super Bowl? Probably not. You know what? Definitely not. But would a step forward just be,
winning the division?
Winning the division and not having a mortifying divisional round loss? Because I consider the way they lost last year, all things considered and what it led to, a pretty disastrous loss. So I think a step forward. But I don't think it's a lock.
It could be another.
I would be absolutely shocked if the Chiefs and the Ravens don't take a step forward from last year. Now, there's a big gap between 6 wins and 12. You know what I mean? You need to step forward and win 9 games, sneak into the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Bills don't take a step forward, but they're my pick.
So Predictions Week is coming up August 31st. And one of the games we play, everybody does it, is you get to pick a worst to first team. Wow, this team is going to be the sleeper. They'll win. Last year we had the Seahawks and the 4-win Patriots go to the Super Bowl. We don't necessarily play this game because it's not maybe as fun.
Great to bad?
Great to oh my goodness, can you believe it? It happens every year.
It was the Chiefs and Ravens last year.
Chiefs and Ravens. And we can go through can you believe that the Rams all of a sudden fall apart? I'm trying to think of another team that everybody thought was going to just be excellent. And 49ers do it kind of more often. When I look at the Bills' schedule, and we know that one of the powerhouse teams every year just falls apart, and we're left scratching our heads at the end of the year. This schedule, combined with the coaching turnover question mark, has me voting that the Bills are going to be maybe it was just a blip, randomness, who knows? They were due for a down year.
It's a tough schedule.
They could very easily, not very easily, but this is what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
The Bills have never started slow. Josh Allen hasn't.
They were 5-5 the other year, and
right out of the gate.
Ball out of his
3-0 4 times, 2-1.
Oh, okay.
3
You mean
times.
Gotcha.
If they start 0-3, which would be,
isn't it true that if any team starts 0-3, they're in trouble?
Teams that are 0-3 are 2-123 to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but can't we do that with every team in the league?
If they start 0-3, yeah. But not every team is playing.
But you're saying they're scheduled.
The Texans, which Josh has struggled, had 2 of the worst games of his career against. The Lions on a short week, which I just think is weird.
But the short week does tend to favor the home team.
And the new stadium. And then the Chargers, hold on, are we in a must-win against Justin Herbert? And then Patriots. It's not predictions week yet. But
no, I
I'm already starting to panic
that's
about the
a little
Bills.
bit of wish casting. Like, what is the Patriots' opening schedule?
Even worse.
Well, right. So,
really bad.
No, so that's.
But I'm going to start freaking out.
I was just trying to pull it up.
We've got
the Patriots schedule.
Seahawks, Jags.
What I was trying to pull up is because the Bills are favored in 3 of those first 4 games. I'm not sure if they're underdogs in Houston.
That's
the Patriots,
well,
on the other hand, are underdogs in 3 of their first 4 games.
You think that's worse? That's not worse.
It's not. Thank you, bro.
It's easier.
Thank you.
Well, it's.
You don't think it's worse, right?
Again? And
at least we have the Steelers, but they have
the Jags. I think the Jags are very.
Yeah,
but I guess the point that I'm making is the Patriots, and again, I am not using whether it's the Chiefs having the 5th best Super Bowl odds or this conversation. I am not trying to act like I think Vegas is gospel. The reason I reference it is supposed to be an unemotional evaluation. You know what I mean? Whether it be the odds or... So, sorry, Dust. Show me the Pats schedule, then show me the Bills schedule quickly, if we could. The Pats are literal underdogs week 1, week 3, week 4.
Yep.
And now if we go to the Bills schedule, the only one I'm not sure about, which is why I was trying to pull it up, is if they're underdogs. The Bills are literal favorites week 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, we're basically underdogs on the road. They're favorites at home.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. That's what. So I'm saying, as far as just the odds of, and I'm looking at the week 1 odds right now to see if they're favored against Houston or not.
No way. I'll take out a
1.5
second.
point favorites.
The Bills are 1.5-point favorites.
So the Bills are favored their first 4 weeks. So you're
again. You're my wife. We're going to take out a second mortgage on that.
You're. I mean, listen. Your normal bet size is $1. So go from there to
5X.
Second mortgage might be.
I don't know if people haven't watched Josh Allen versus this Texans defense.
He's
done nothing.
But we've watched C.J. Stroud.
It's totally but it's totally fair.
I like C.J. Stroud.
That's the only point I'm making. The point is, like, Bills Pats win the division as far as the early. I think both teams have a nice buffer of we get 4 games against the Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah.
So if Bills and Pats both feel like split with each other, sweep those 2 teams, now all of a sudden you're at 5 wins. You really only need to go like 5-7 against the rest of the league to make the playoffs.
Yep.
And then, or 5-6, I guess, against the rest of the league. Go ahead.
We're talking LeBron. Sam Amico spoke to 2 veteran NBA executives who didn't share Philly's enthusiasm for LeBron's 24th season. Here's the quote. Buckle up. He's still LeBron, or still has moments where he'll remind you he was once LeBron. But this is going to be the chapter where we watch him and say that he's stuck around too long. Someday we'll ask, remember when LeBron played for the Sixers? And laugh. I mean...
All right, so real quick, this is noteworthy because Sam Amico says this was a general manager. This wasn't like a scout. This wasn't unnamed personnel. There's only 30 of these. You know what I mean? This is...
Yeah, I had veteran NBA executive. But if you had general manager,
no, that's what. No. When I read it, it said general manager. It said what we have on there. And so I mean that's a real take, and it is certainly. I will acknowledge when no player other than LeBron has made it to year 23, and he's playing in year 24. When he's, I don't even know at this point, is he at 70,000 combined minutes, playoffs and regular season? Like, it is certainly possible that the cliff. But as far as predicting it, or almost saying it like it's a fait accompli, when we just saw him be the best player in a playoff series, LeBron led a team with the next 5 leading scorers or leading minutes guys were Rui, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, DeAndre Ayton, and his son to a playoff series victory in which he led both teams in points and assists. This year, here's the 6 guys who did that. There are 6 guys who in a series this year led both teams in points and assists. The defending MVP, the 3-time MVP, the finals MVP, and 2 of the best young players in the league. So I do not anticipate, Brew, that we're going to look back on the 2026-2027 LeBron James Philadelphia 76ers season and laugh about it as far as it being, again, I don't laugh at this, but like Ewing with the Magic. Like, again, I don't laugh at that. But
don't even think about
it.
But
just don't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, look, like you said, it's of course on the board. He turns 42 in December. All right, but I don't see it coming either because you talked about earlier Nick Nurse playing LeBron at the point, which makes a lot of sense. We saw LeBron as a point guard with the Olympic team, obviously surrounded by tons of talent, and it was great. That could easily happen in Philadelphia. He could run the point and get, which I think does make a lot of sense because LeBron can establish a tone where they are sharing the basketball. And I don't expect him to be their leading scorer. I don't think he should be their leading scorer. Now, his numbers, I would imagine, will drop, but he could average 17 points and 7 or 8 assists, and it's not like he still plays well. Like, he still looks really good. So I don't see this. Look, he signed a 2-year deal, so maybe next year, the following season, could he fall 25? Off? Sure. Right. I mean, I guess that's on the table, but no, we've seen nothing to make us think he's going to fall off that badly.
Healthy and Embiid is playing, what is your ideal stat line for like LeBron for a month of just, he's not on a heater and he's not slumping. This is just like, oh, that's just right.
I would say like 18 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds.
See, and I was gonna go the ideal stat line with a healthy Embiid. 16 points, 10 assists.
Yep.
Like if people forget this, the title season in LA, LeBron James played point guard and was the league's assist champion. Like led the whole NBA. I think was the only player in the whole league to average double-digit assists.
10. Yep.
And so like I do think. Because it is I think Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, and LeBron can all be malleable-ish. I do not think Embiid can be. If Embiid is out there, Embiid at this point of his career is great at getting buckets. Yeah. And so when he's out there, you're going to have to, that high pick and roll they did in the Olympics with LeBron and Embiid, you got to run that, and LeBron's got to get him the ball. Like that's where I think LeBron. With Embiid out there, his scoring dips significantly and the assists go way up.
16 and 10 is easy. 2 buckets a quarter? You can do that.
That would be a great
Steve Nash won an MVP on that.
That's easy money. Jared Goff, the best quarterback in the division. That's next on. First things first. Oh, my toupee popped right off there. I'm humiliated.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome back to First Things First. Chris Sims asked newly extended Zay Flowers if he'd treat himself after signing a 4-year deal. Here's what Zay had to say, bro.
I'm going to do something after the Super Bowl. I'm going to wait till we play in the Super Bowl, then I'll take care of myself. If we win the Super Bowl, then I might take the whole offense on a trip or something.
Okay, bro, traditionally you've been against this.
Well, with one team in particular. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because they say it all the time, and it's their owner who's not banging heads. This, I love.
Really?
I'm with this. Zay, that's what it's about. It is all about the Super Bowl there. And for him to say, I'm not going out and getting the car of my dreams. I'm not going out and getting the house of my dreams. I am waiting until the Super Bowl. That shows me everybody's locked in. That's all they're talking about in Baltimore. Super Bowl. And Zay had something to do with why they didn't get there against the Chiefs a couple years ago. Yes, so I love it. I am totally with it.
Again, you wanted to surprise us to a degree with this quote. Was he talking about spending the money on himself or on his teammates?
At first, I think
he said
Chris
if they
Sims
win
asked
it, right?
himself, but then in a nice gesture, he's like, "If we win the Super Bowl, I'll take everybody."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
all right.
So I thought it was because I was going to say it's just a way to kind of shirk not buying everyone Rolexes now. You know what I mean? Like, wait till after the Super Bowl.
The wide receiver doesn't need to buy people Rolexes.
Well, once you become a $35 million a year guy, you can get your teammates something. I think traditionally, I think.
Well,
maybe
you're a wide receiver.
But again, the trip to
not the whole team, but I'm going to
Lamar.
Everybody spend whoever's money
Can
they
I say
want.
just before we move on, Brew? I feel like this is the only team you would accept this from. And it makes me feel like your opinion is being colored by your fandom of Lamar and the Ravens. Well, certainly if Jamar Chase said this.
I would tread lightly with what
if
you're doing.
A.J. Brown said this, if whoever is available for the Chiefs said this, if DJ Moore said this.
If the Chiefs said it, I don't think he would be bothered at all because they go to the Super Bowl basically every year.
If Tyquan Thornton's like, well, we'll see.
Well,
once we go to the Super Bowl. I think
he's not Zay Flowers.
That's true.
Well, Zay's not.
I don't have a big. Listen,
I wouldn't say that with the Chiefs.
I don't really have a big problem when guys on almost any team say this. When me and Jeannie hates it, and we have kind of all fallen in line with Coach. Yeah. The guys talking about
set the Super Bowl.
It does bother me when Jerry Jones says it.
And we didn't like it. We didn't like it when the Bills hung the giant banner, the Lombardi Trophy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I view that differently than one player trying to speak something into existence. And I also do view it differently, to Zay's credit. It's a sliding scale of how close you've been, how realistic is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think I wouldn't be bothered by it. But let's say this exact quote was said by Jahmyr Gibbs and by Bijan Robinson. I think I'd probably look a little more askance at Bijan. You know what I mean? Gibbs, they've been close like Baltimore. It's like, you know what I mean? The next thing, we're going to do it. And so I don't have a huge problem with Zay. We've just kind of batted this story around, pardon me, and maybe we just don't need to do it. It is stunning to me that they gave him this deal. That is a smart front office. It is it felt like it felt like an NBA deal in that some NBA deals, the day they're signed, you're like, well, that's a bad deal. And that doesn't happen that often in the NFL. You know what I mean? Usually in the NFL, the snap reaction isn't that's crazy, except sometimes with quarterbacks where you feel like they were, like Trevor, I know when he got his deal, people, whatever it is. It is a true, real vote of confidence from the new regime in this player. Yeah. I know it's the same front office, but I'm sure the coaching staff signed off on it. A true vote of confidence.
It's the fourth most guaranteed money of any wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm stunned as well. And I like Zay Flowers. He's a very good receiver, but he's not in the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase class.
No, and to me, he is right now in that same class of DJ Moore as far as he's a number one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Definite number one.
He's your number one, and that's fine. And which is why it surprised me when the Bills gave up what they did for DJ Moore and then guaranteed part of his deal. This surprised me as well. But it's a real vote of confidence.
All right, headed to Detroit. Coming in at number 33 on the NFL Top 100 is Jared Goff. Now, they were last place in the NFC North last year, but Goff is first among the quarterbacks in this list.
Good worst to first candidate.
Yeah, they're a great one. Goff's 33, Caleb's 51, Jordan Love's 72. And not ranked yet, Kyler or J.J.
No,
McCarthy.
they're just not ranked.
It would be surprising, but it's not journalistically not ranked yet. Do we agree that Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC?
In the NFC North. I agree that he deserves to be the highest ranked going into this year. And I personally would have it in the exact order they have it. I think Brew would probably have Jordan ahead of Caleb going into this year. I would have it just the way they have it. I would be very, very surprised if he's considered the best in the division or the highest ranked in the division after this year. Because I do think Caleb's going to take a leap similar to the one he took last year. And so if that's the case, I think that's enough to supplant Jared Goff. So, but right now, he, for all my civilian versus superhero stuff, his production is pretty unimpeachable. His consistency is right there. He did it last year without Ben Johnson. They still scored a bunch of points, even though they ended up technically last in the division. But it's not like they didn't have the disaster season the Chiefs had. They were 8-9, I think. They were 8-9 and tied with the Vikings. They ended up being last. He has his body of work, Brew, deserves this designation for the time being.
Yeah, you used the right word, consistency. I mean, that's what he is. I can pencil in 30 or more touchdowns.
The numbers are crazy,
4,500 or more yards.
Really good.
And Caleb, we know, had a problem with consistency. Yeah. Jordan Love, at times, has problems with a little reckless, little consistency. Just a bad decision here or there. He got a lot better last year at it, but has those issues. But the ceiling of Love and Caleb are way higher than Goff. And the thing with Goff, too, is he has the best weapons of the group. I know you got Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, but he's got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams and Sam Laporta and then Jahmyr Gibbs at running. Like,
you disagree with that?
No,
you just saying Justin, okay, but outside of Justin,
I wasn't even including the Vikings.
No, that was my curveball.
Yeah. But you don't think they have better weapons than the Vikings?
I think the Lions do have the best weapons. I think Justin Jefferson is
he's the best,
miles ahead of everybody else.
Agreed.
But I wonder that we just all right, it's a 3-man race, Goff, Caleb, and
is
Jordan
it
Love.
Kyler?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah. Right at this moment, just hold on. At this moment, if we got what we think about Kyler in Minnesota, is he higher, or were you more optimistic about Kyler right now than you were about Darnold when Darnold popped in there after bouncing around teams?
Remember, Darnold was Steve Young. So don't forget.
They didn't pick
Darnold had a year under Shanahan, which helps a lot of quarterbacks.
But if he pops like Sam Darnold, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, of courst. You got Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell. Great defense will steal you some wins so you don't have to light it up.
Doesn't have
You're
the
playing
size
inside.
of Darnold. Has had
better
issues.
Prospect, has a more successful
similar prospect.
Yeah, Darnold was
number one versus number 3. Just say Darnold was a
Heisman.
true blue chipper. No, that's fair. Listen, I'm not going to act like I was bullish on Darnold when he went there. For the record, the Vikings were not bullish on Darnold either. They did not expect him to start.
Yeah.
They drafted a quarterback to start who then, JJ got hurt that preseason, which is why Darnold then started.
And they let Darnold walk.
Right, correct. But my point is, we weren't having a Darnold discussion in small part, at least because we thought it might be JJ might be the quarterback.
Yep.
I am just flatly, this sounds mean. I don't believe that Kyler Murray is an above-average NFL quarterback, and that starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And so I don't, even with Justin Jefferson, and even with Kevin O'Connell, the greatest coach ever who's never won a playoff game and lost a couple home ones. I don't think they're going to be able to rekindle that magic. I also think it's very interesting for Kevin O'Connell because the quarterbacks he's had the success with, like Cousins and Darnold, are very different than Kyler. I think what's more likely than Kyler has a Darnold-esque year is is Justin Jefferson more valuable to the Vikings in a trade than he is on the team?
I mean, that would be shocking.
It would be shocking?
If for Justin Jefferson, it just would be a
star wide receivers get moved.
Huge trade.
Yeah.
Here's my last argument for Kyler.
To be the best quarterback in
to have the best season.
Is that what you?
To have the best season
and have the best season. Wow. They were 8-9 last year, and we all thought they were, they don't feel like they were 8-9.
No, they feel like they were in last place,
and
the Lions were the team in last place. Yes.
So I'm like, all right, can you name? They had Max Brosmer starting his first game. He was doing wacky stuff. JJ was out there getting booed by his own, home team. Because I'm not saying Kyler has to win 14 games, but can he be 3 games better than the patchwork quilt of QBs they had last year?
So you want to?
Go ahead.
I don't always. I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I think that is more complicated math than it sounds like the year-to-year fluctuation in defensive performance in this league is massive, and I think a huge part of their 8-9 last year was Brian Flores and that defense.
Oh, they were 9-8.
Oh, 9-8.
Gee whiz, they only need to win one more game.
So that means the Lions were all whatever. This is all
Flores.
They were both.
They were both
9-8. They're all above 500, and the Vikings won the tiebreaker.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So
don't you think Flores? I think he'll be good with that.
Oh, I think Flores is I think Flores is awesome. I think Flores, if not for some lawsuit reasons and maybe some personality reasons, would be a head coach in this league already multiple times over. I just think that there is a level of, we see it all, like the best offenses in the NFL historically, year to year, you know what I mean? Like are, if you were the number one offense, you maybe dip to number 4, and then you're 3, and then you're 7. Defenses can have these massive changes year to year. I do agree, if they get the exact same defensive performance they got last year, then yeah, they could win double-digit games just because Kyler, even with my pessimism, is better than what they had at quarterback last year. I don't anticipate that they'll have that exact same defensive performance, would be my guess.
Turns out, bro, I just talked myself into the Vikings winning the NFC North on accident.
Well, the problem with that is then you don't have a worst to first.
I'm not sure that's
because the Lions are the easiest worst to first ever because they were 9-8 and we don't actually think they were worse.
Told you I was high on the Cardinals. I'm watching Carson Beck.
We didn't mention J-Lo. J-Lo's going to be the best quarterback in the
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate. By automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Saturday night is baseball night in America on Fox. Guardians, White Sox, Orioles, Rangers, Tigers, Giants. It's tomorrow at 7, only on Fox. Welcome back to First Things First. Former friend of the show, Bill Barnwell. He's in our bad graces now because of this Mahomes stuff. New article gives active NFL superstars their Hall of Fame progress reports. Lamar, Stafford, Mahomes, and Josh Allen are all in. Joe Burrow listed as having work to do. Injuries are the concern here, Barnwell writes. The Bengals also haven't made the playoffs since 2022. And while that shouldn't impact Burrow, given that he's already made it to a Super Bowl, more playoff success wouldn't hurt. Do we think that Burrow is on a Hall of Fame trajectory?
No, not at all. Now, he is a Hall of Fame talent, Hall of Fame caliber player, but so far he is not on a trajectory. And I disagree with Barnwell.
I totally do.
Right? Saying missing the playoffs for the last three years shouldn't hurt him just because he got to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy got to the Super Bowl too. A lot of quarterbacks have gotten to the Super Bowl. That doesn't give you a pass for the next 5-6 years of your career. And so Joe Burrow's never been All-Pro.
No.
He's never been top 3 in the MVP race.
No.
He's played only 3 full seasons in his career. He's only won more than 10 games once. All right, and he's made the playoffs 2 times in 6 years. How in the world does that speak to Hall of Fame trajectory? Now, again, I think the talent is there, clearly, but there's no way he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, usually, a little peek behind the curtain for the audience. Our show is not a debate show. What is
it's a fun hang.
It's a fun hang.
Friendly hang. Yeah, friendly hang.
I tried to make it competitive sports debate. You guys said we're not going to do it.
I'm fine with at times it is.
Every once in a while.
Although it got ugly.
It makes me a fun hang.
But the shows that are true competitive sports debate, you will only do a topic if people vehemently disagree on it. They don't make up disagreements, but it's like, hey, where do you stand if everyone...
That's not necessarily true.
Okay, sometimes they might make up disagreements. There you go. But our show, but still, even on this show, conversations can be a little boring. Everyone's like, I agree. So we don't always do it.
You disagree.
I figured we would all agree on this, and I still want to do it because I think a lot of the audience is like, obviously the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer because he is discussed and considered, in this tier of greatness because at his best, he is great. And he does have, he is one of the only people with the Mahomes in the playoffs pelt on the wall. There's only 2 active quarterbacks with that, him and Jalen Hurts. Jalen gets no credit for it at all. Burrow maybe gets extra credit. But I think that there is I do on the podcast, every year there's a new Hall of Fame class. I try to guess who next year's Hall of Fame class is. And the reason I think the Pro Football Hall of Fame is so great is because it's so hard to get in. So like last year we talked about all these great players who have been waiting, who are going to, Eli didn't get in. I don't know that he ever will. Phillip Rivers, Torrey Holt, Reggie, these guys that have had to wait for so long. And then next year, all of a sudden, Gronk is a first-time eligible. Big Ben is first-time eligible. There's one other no-doubter that I just talked about who is also first-time eligible. Richard Sherman is first-time eligible. So next year, there's the one other no-doubter I'll remember in a minute. There are 3 there's only 5 spots. Yep. There are 3 surefire guys who jump the line. Sherman might as well. That doesn't even mention Antonio Brown and Cam Newton, who are also first-time eligible. And I think Cam's not going to get in, and Antonio's going to have to wait. You simply don't have 6 quarterbacks from an era, you know what I mean, around the same age make it. And if we think Patrick is in because he is, Lamar is in because of the 2 MVPs because he is, Josh, it would be stunning if he's not. Burrow has a lot of work to do and has to really make up ground to not be in the Phillip Rivers. You know what I mean? Because the Brady, Manning, Big Ben from that era, pre-Rodgers, post-Favre, are like the guys. Then Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning are like, what about us? And the answer might be...
Eli's in a whole different world, though.
Right. Eli is a very different type of case than Burrow. But I think he has a lot of work to do
the other
to
day,
be a Hall of Famer.
Bruce Simmons was arguing that Drake May was a top 4 quarterback, and he got pushed back on it. And he's like, he won 17 games last year. And I was like, yeah, that's a good argument. I looked it up. Joe Burrow has won 19 games in the last 3 years.
I believe it.
So I'm like, all right, if you've won 19 games in the last 3 years, and again, I know I'm like the sewer rat of, quarterback analysis. I'm out there scurrying for garbage because I like quarterback wins. Lamar Jackson is 76-31. Josh Allen is 88-39. Joe Burrow is 43-33-1. Tua is 44-32.
So that's
and you would think, well, the Tua and Joe Burrow, Tua never did what? Lead the league in passer rating, lead the league in yards, put up monstrous numbers every once in a while. But if you watch the games or if you're in the sort of,
you don't think Tua and Burrow are similar at all.
But in 20 years, people are like, hey, what's up with this guy Joe Burrow? His numbers look a lot like Tua.
He is getting, and you've said it before, Nick, he gets so much credit. Even Barwell mentioned it from getting to the Super Bowl that one year. Because like you said, they were 10-6. They didn't have like this great regular season.
They were 10-6, and the next year, people should go back and watch the 4th quarter of the following year's AFC Championship game and the opportunities they had to really put a knife through the Chiefs' heart to win that game, and the interceptions Burrow threw. The other guy that's first-time eligible next year is Adrian Peterson. So, you know what I mean? So Big Ben, Adrian Peterson, Gronk just walk in. Sherman has a strong case, which means almost everyone who was waiting last year is going to be waiting again. It's
Who's
just
the number one person waiting who didn't get in this class? Do you know?
There would be different arguments about it. Willie Anderson is off. Jari Evans, Marshall Yonder, the offensive lineman. The finalists who didn't make it. But it's what makes it great. It's a very hard Hall of Fame to get into, and I think that Burrow's got to do a lot more.